So yes, you were telling us about GiveFood.ng and the work that you're doing there. So
GiveFood.ng is a coalition of private and public sector partners that came together exceptionally rapidly to create an emergency food relief platform to provide meals to tens of thousands of desperate families in desperate need, particularly during the lockdown, and now been able to sustain that post-lockdown now. So basically, the way GiveFood.ng, the genesis of GiveFood.ng was as an organization, Babangona, most people think of us either, because we're Nigeria's single largest maize producing entity. We farm this year with our members about 75,000 acres of maize. They think of us as an agriculture company or a finance company, but the reality is we're a technology company. And so we're able to deploy in about 72 hours the technology we use for logistics tech to get tens of thousands of tons of product to farmers in the bottom of the pyramid, to get food to families in need. And we were able to build up a coalition today of over 30 private sector partners, some of the country's leading food companies, the largest supermarket partners. Today we've got a network of about 150 supermarkets on the platform. We've got over 100 volunteer organizations that are all committed every day to enable the everyday person who wants to support somebody in need in their community with as little as 25 cents. You can donate 25 cents on the platform, and you can be ensured that 100% of that reaches a person in need, in desperate need in a community of your choice.
So how can someone access the resources, the food, if they wanted to get some of the donations? How can they access it?
Sure. So really there's two, the platform is designed to be exceptionally flexible. And so the way that it works is you as a sponsor, you can go onto the platform today, and if you know somebody in need, you're in Lagos, you know somebody in need in Kano that is being really hit hard today, you can go on the platform and actually give food aid directly to that person by simply putting in their phone number, and they'll receive a simple 5-digit token that they can walk into any of the 150 supermarkets in the platform and redeem that for food. So you can give it directly to somebody you want. If you want to support a specific community, and I'm talking about very micro communities, right? So for example, if you wanted to support a specific, say, 3-4 square block area, you would select the supermarket in that community, and your donation would go to a network of trusted volunteers that are supporting people in that community. So we've created a very efficient system to enable people to give aid either directly or through a network of trusted volunteers to families in desperate need.
Wow, that's so remarkable. I mean, and is this going to carry on throughout post-lockdown as well, or is it? Definitely.
We actually, as an organization, we've kind of gone through 3 phases. The first phase was to get the tech up and running, build out the infrastructure, then get the coalition partners on board to bring awareness to the site, where today I think we've gotten as much as 7,000 visitors to our site in one day. And now we're really focused on how do we ensure that GiveFood.ng is sustainable so it can continue to support these families in desperate need on a continuous basis. And one of the things that we're very proud of that we've accomplished with GiveFood is we've actually created a system for you to donate that is better than cash. Today, if you donate as I said, as little as 25 cents, there are no financial transaction fees. 100% of everything you donate goes out as food. We've created a system where all those fees and costs and everything can be absorbed. You also have the ability that if you donate up to, say about $30, actually about $25, you'll get a 20% bonus, meaning that now you'll have 20% more money to donate and give to people that you can through the generous support of our corporate partners. And finally, these supermarkets that are just doing incredible work, absolutely incredible work, are actually putting into the packages more value than what you're paying for. So in certain supermarkets, it's actually up to 10% more. So it's an exceptionally efficient way to get your food aid out there.
So which are some of the supermarkets that are participating in this?
So we've got every single major supermarket in the system. We've got Spar, we've got ShopRite, we've got Grocery Bazaar, we've got Just Right, we've got Food Co. We've picked, and the list goes on and on and on. What we've done strategically is we've selected we've actually built the system today where a little mom and pop shop, a small provision store on the corner can actually be a distribution point. So the technology at GiveFood.ng allows that person to actually onboard themselves. So it's all automated. A little mom and pop shop, all they need is a bank account. They go on, register themselves, put together their food basket, and they can go live. And we actually have an automated system where they can actually do a test transaction to know that everything works. And the way that it works is anybody who receives a GiveFood.ng token can go to any store in the network and redeem that for food. And the store is actually credited instantly for the value of the donation.
Of the amount. Wow. I mean, gosh, this is one of the key things that we saw during the lockdown was just how hungry people were. You know, and they were not, some of them, able to go out and buy food because they didn't have any money. And so this is just a really fantastic initiative to reach the very, very lower pyramid of the society. So it's very commendable. How did this come about? Was it your initiative or?
Well, so as Babangona, we've been very fortunate. We've had just an incredible group of investors and partners. We have some of the world's largest development organizations, from the German government to MasterCard Foundation to the Gates Foundation, as our investors. And so since when coronavirus crisis hit, we took a very proactive approach with our partners. We began with awareness. We actually put up 120,000 posters in 8,000 villages across rural Nigeria. We put together a 5-minute detailed how to prevent yourself from getting coronavirus in every local language, and actually paid for that to go out over the phone lines as a robocall, because in rural communities they don't have access to data, and sent that out to thousands of people in rural communities. We then moved on to prevention. So we actually purchased nearly a tanker, 22,000 liters of hand sanitizers, that we distributed to 150,000 people in remote rural communities that had limited access to water. And then very quickly, we then started to see the impact of the lockdown on really the most vulnerable in our society. And that's when we pulled together a key group of initial coalition partners. And in 72 hours, we got this coalition off the ground and the technology live.
This is really great work. So, I mean, so we saw some very inefficient ways of working, of distribution, quite early on when states were shut down. Did you partner with any government institutions at all? Or,
yes, no, definitely. No, we definitely have. So we partnered with. So for example, Lagos State owns a microfinance bank that they use to basically help get loans to really the most vulnerable in the state. And so they've got this database of really most vulnerable individuals. So they were one of those partners that we worked with to get food out to and identify some of the most vulnerable. So we have definitely partnered with states, and we're very eager and open to partner with more states as we grow. Because I think at the end of the day, the need is massive. With our partners that we're getting on board, we are expecting the donations basically it's a crowdfunding donation site. The donations on the site will start to continue to grow even more and more and more. And with that, we can really, at the end of the day, our vision is very simple. We want to provide 50 million meals to vulnerable families by the end of this year.
Yeah. Well, so it's not hard to see why your social enterprise was given the award, the Scholar Award in 2017, and I'm sure there are countless others. And you've said in the past that agriculture can be the job creation engine for Nigeria. Do you still think that's the case, and how can we ensure that that happens?
I 120% believe that that's the case. Fundamentally, if you look at agriculture, it's massive, 25% of GDP, tremendous growth potential, labor intensive, and requires relatively limited skills. Hands down, agriculture is Nigeria's job creation engine. Now, our strategy to make that a reality is to basically build businesses that increase the profitability of small-scale farming. Mm-hmm. So if we can make small-scale farmers more profitable, we'll use market forces to draw millions of young people into the sector as effectively entrepreneurs. So to date, cumulatively, since inception, Babangona has done this for over 100,000 farmers. And so we are on track to do that for 1 million farmers by 2025.
Yeah, fantastic. But so, there is this kind of perception that agriculture is not glamorous and it's, kind of, very hard work with little returns. I mean, how can we shift that perception? How can we entice more young people, for example, into this industry?
Well, the reality is that the young people are actually very rational. Agriculture has been a poverty trap for their father, their mother, their grandfather, and their grandfather, and their grandmother, right? So what we've done is fundamentally look at how the economics of farming for a small farmer and create as much efficiencies as humanly possible. So that's the reason why the average Babangona farmer will get a net income that is 2.5 times the average farmer in Nigeria, right? So if you're now getting a net income that is 2.5 times what you think about, if you got a job that paid you a salary 2.5 times your peers, would you want to stay in that job? And that's effectively what we're creating. And not only that, Babangona, our tagline is very simple. It's your path to a better life. Because what happens with Babangona farmers, we've been at this now going on a decade, and we've seen this time and time again. We've seen farmers go from farming 1.5 hectares. We have farmers today that are farming 20 hectares with us, right? It is a life-changing experience. We have farmers that his goal when he started was to get his children properly educated, which is a beautiful and important goal. He's done that. Now his goal is to build a house in Lagos, right? And so it's because we're able to not only get them higher net incomes, but also help them grow their farms. Because we as you participate in Babangona, you have the opportunity to actually grow your farm and start farming more and more and more and more. That is where the real life-changing impact comes, and where you're able to quadruple, increase your income nearly 5, 6, 7 times.
Right. So, I mean, how can someone get started then? If you have farming aspirations, what is the best way?
So today, Babangona, we are in 6 states in Nigeria. We basically have we have today, I think, a staff strength of well over 1,000 people that are out there in the communities at the grassroots level, offering the opportunity to farmers. We use a lot of technology, so we actually have a psychometric test that we've given now to over 200,000, actually probably 250,000 farmers, and so the reality is once you pass that test, you can actually join. It's a more of a credit rating that determines how much debt we will give you.
Yeah. So let us know. Is it the website? How can someone go to find out more information about Babangona?
Oh, so Babangona, you can. I think multiple different ways. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can visit us at babangona.com, or send us a note at info@babangona.com if you would like to partner with us. And we're fortunate that we have just an incredible group of partners, and happy to continue to grow that group.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a couple of questions here from the viewers. Let me just have a look and see. Okay, so we've covered most of them. Company websites, and one of the questions says, kind of mentions, what is it, just in Nigeria, or is it Pan-African, or are there plans to expand across the continent? If not, they're already.
So we definitely have plans to expand. I think the reality is that we recognize that in all of these different markets, that the market itself is somewhat unique. As I mentioned, Babangona is a tech company, right? Mm-hmm. We're actually the largest agri-tech company in Nigeria. And what we see as our path to scale the impact across the continent is to partner with local social entrepreneurs in key markets, bring our expertise and our technology to enable them to not have to make all the mistakes that we did, and scale their impact much, much faster.
Absolutely. So, final question before I let you go, and you've been a great sport, thank you. We've seen in other parts of the world where farmers unfortunately had to throw away vast quantities of food because of the lockdown. And, there has been talk about the implications this has on food security and the food supply chain. do we have any similar examples here? And what are farmers telling you about how the challenges that they faced during the lockdown period?
So the unfortunate reality is that some parts of the agriculture value chain have been hit rather negatively by coronavirus. Now, those parts of the value chain tend to be the fresh produce and livestock side of agriculture. The reality is that many of the parts of the agriculture sector on the dry, staple, non-perishable products actually have seen strengthening in that sector. So if you look at the price of, with the exception of parts of the world where they use corn for renewable energy, where it's just consumed, you've actually seen price appreciation. So maize prices in Nigeria have been appreciating. Rice prices have been appreciating. But the unfortunate reality is that the egg farmer in Nigeria has had to bury many of their eggs. The fresh produce farmer has sometimes had to just leave the crop in the field or plow it back in, because really there was no market due to the impact of the lockdown, shutdown of the restaurant and schools and so on and so forth. So there are definite parts of the sector that have been impacted.
Yeah. So are they kind of coming back as things have eased somewhat? Are they kind of seeing upturn in their fortunes?
So I think the beauty of being in agriculture, there are many challenges in being in agriculture. One of the fundamental beauties of being in agriculture, I think people are seeing today, is we must eat. Yes. Right? And so I know it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I think demand has been suppressed, but that demand will come back, because as people start making those investment decisions, first on that list is going to be food.